All right, welcome to Fox and Frog Gaming. This is Anthony. Today we're actually going to do a component review of Ultimate Railroads. Let's get to the table and check out what these components look like, how they kind of fit in the box, and see how good a quality they are. Welcome back to the table, and we're going to go through the component review now of Ultimate Railroads. So we've actually sat down, taken out, organized. There's actually a pretty nice organizer. We'll go through that here in a minute. But we'll start off with the rule book. Christy, you've actually dug into this a bit more than I have, that's for sure. You want to go through the rule book and the quality there?
Yeah. First of all, I want to point out that Ultimate Railroads is actually 4 railroad games. We've only played one, and that's Russian railroads. But they also have German, American, and Asian railroads.
Okay.
So we've only dug into that. So this is a nice, hefty book. It's 48 pages, but it goes through each game. So they're very similar. They just add different things as they go throughout. Yeah, I've actually only read the first one because we only played Russian railroads. So I've only looked through that. But one of the things I really liked is at the very end, it goes through individual pieces and cards that you might have that you don't understand what they mean. It kind of explains them. So you don't have to search through the rule book to find out what they mean.
Okay. Well, thank you for walking through that. And as I kind of glanced through this and looked at it, it really is organized pretty well. I really liked how, it goes through and it talks about the components initially, actually how to set up and organize the box. So here's even a diagram of, the inserts that are in the box and how to place things. So, sorry, let me get that in the picture here a little bit better. So nice little organization there. And it actually talks through each of the points. It numbers them. It talks through what they are. It gives you the little iconography of the different expansions and what they are and where they're going to fit. Really kind of designed nice that way.
Yeah.
So
I also wanted to point out that it shows you the numbers here, but in the box, there's pictures to match. So you can tell exactly as you're putting things away and taking things out, you can tell exactly where things go.
Yep. So really like the rule book. There's even a quick little diagram. They actually have one piece of the setup in the box pre-made, and then they have a second piece that you're going to fold up and make yourself to help do all of that. And with that, let's kind of look at the box here. Now, the initial insert, I can't take out of here without destroying a whole bunch of stuff. So I left it in there, but you have sections and spaces. There's lots of baggies as well. And then some of these longer pieces actually have little cutouts within the organizer there. And then the organizer that you're building and putting will then fit right on top of that, doing the same thing, iconography, helping you, little baggies. And then there's some other pieces like what we have going on right here that's going to fit here. Sorry, turn that around there. It's going to fit down in there and be set and organized for you at the end. And then the player boards, the game board will go on top, and then your rule book. So really well organized. I've been very impressed with the organization of this box. So with that, let's now jump to the game board and the player boards. So we got things laid out here.
For a 2-player game, since that's how we've played it.
Yep. And so the board is actually double-sided. You got 1 and 2 player, and it crosses off. It's got little railroad blocking for some different places, as well as the placement for the 3 or 4 player to let you know this is the 2-player side. And then there's a few less turns, components and things like that. So these are a little bit smaller. Mm-hmm. But the boards are actually well designed, good thick cardboard on them, as well as the components. Nice wooden tokens here that we have for the railroad tracks and our meeples. And then there's good solid cardboard tokens, nice thick. They've been pretty good quality. We did notice that as I was popping things out, that some of the paper was sticking as you pop one out and it would kind of peel. So you got to make sure on that, being careful to pop those out. But it didn't happen very often, especially with the number of components that we have here. It was minimal, but you want to be careful of that.
Yeah. So one of the things that stood out to me was, first of all, yes, everything's good quality, but the way that the board sits, it's just folded into thirds. And so when we first pulled it out, it was kind of warped just where the folds are. So we had to make sure to kind of gently open that up a little bit more.
Gently bend it out.
Yeah.
You don't want to tear it and so forth. But yeah, we needed to help flex it a little bit there.
Yep. The other thing I really liked, the point markers are little trains. I thought that was kind of fun because you're not actually putting trains out. Like when I heard the name of this game, I pictured Ticket to Ride and how you're placing trains and things like that. And instead you're placing rails more, and then you put locomotives to the side. So it's nice to have that little shout out with the train moving up the track.
Yeah, so if you look closer at the I-beam or the beams here, our little tokens for the rails are actually little I-beams that are cut. So it's kind of cool that way. Makes it look like a little railroad track.
Yeah. And speaking of those, so as you go on throughout the game, you'll upgrade these tracks and get better quality ones. And I like how they painted them. I like the silver. I don't know how well you can see how these look, but they actually have like a metallic finish on them to make them stand out a little bit more. So I really like that.
Yep. The iconography in here was very easy to get used to. When we sat down and played, ended up playing 3 games in quick succession, and a couple hours to learn, make sure we had the rule book, go over rules. But the iconography here is very simple, and so took a couple hours our first game, probably an hour to an hour and a half our second game, and then we're 45 minutes on our third game. Yeah. It played very quickly. We really got the feel for it. We were able to make decisions quickly, and just good quality on that iconography. And I think the only thing we went back to double check the rule book on was how some of the special engineers, what their abilities were and how they worked, making sure that we understood that. When we placed out some of the upgrades for our industry tiles, and making sure that so the rail tiles actually double. So our railroad tiles actually double as an industry tile, and then making sure that we understood exactly what it was meaning when we were looking at that. That's really all we went back to the rule book for. And you can see it was a quick reference. It's right there on the back page. Very easy to find, and it's good explanations on it too.
Yep. I also like how these fit pretty well. You can see that there's this path and there's wires, and they actually kind of fit in there nicely.
Hold on.
Oh,
that one's a little bit out of the view there. So, but you kind of go like that and kind of show.
So you can move up on your industry track, and it forms like these wires and bolts, and nuts, I guess is what they are. And I just like how these fit in there nicely, and they include the wire so that the track is continuous. And I'm pushing on it so it doesn't fit, but yeah. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I like how they did that with the board when it's laid out. It's got the little notch to make sure that if you accidentally bump one piece, that it stays in there. It also does it. It has a little quick reference guide here that can be upgraded. That's how much your rails are worth. So the initial rails are 0 points. So it definitely forces you to go in and start upgrading and putting out these other colors. And then it tells you, okay, these are the ones that you got to go with next. How much they are per point, and so forth as you go up the line.
Yep.
So, and then of course there's the money tokens. Again, there's a double victory point tokens. Again, all good quality on the cardboard there. They also have these other cards here. They feel like they have a linen finish, which makes them real nice. They're smooth. You're not shuffling them a lot. There's really no shuffling here, but good quality on the cards, nice and smooth. I like those a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot of cards. There's cards that you get bonus points at the end of a round for depending on turn order, and then there's cards for the beginning of the game. Second, third, and fourth players get to pick starting resources, and then if you choose to upgrade one of your spots for an in-game bonus and an additional bonus, you get cards for those. But other than that, the Russian Railroads doesn't have very many cards.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I think that's all on our component review here. We did have a few other pieces. Now, we're not really going to go over the German, the Russian, and Asian, but you can see some of the different boards that are also included in the Ultimate. So you got a couple other player boards. We've only really had the two out here, but then they have some other ones for the different rails.
There's 4 types of rails, and each player board is double-sided with 2 of the 4.
Okay. And then a couple other different routes that you can go in and added pieces with the other rails. So a lot of good, interesting things here. And we will be back in a little bit to give you our review of the game. So come and join us back for that. But hope you enjoyed this, and please like, subscribe, and let us know. Give us any comments. Let us know if you have it, what you think of the quality of the components, and if there's things that you noticed that you really liked about it. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you.